Well, look who's here now, Mr. Roger Schlesinger. He's known in most circles here as the Mortgage Minute guy. Roger, always good to see you.
Good to see you, Don.
And I see you celebrating, your UCLA heritage with this Bruin tie.
Yeah.
You've been out of college now, what, 5 years?
5 or 10, I can't remember. But my class is being celebrated this weekend at Alumni Day at UCLA. We're having lunch at the Chancellor's Mansion.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. It's been a handful of decades. I don't want to say how long, but when I left, UCLA hadn't won a NCAA championship in basketball yet.
Oh, okay. We know it's been a couple of years. The last time you were on the program, we were talking about how there's just been this paradigm shift in your industry, because even 6, 8, 10 months ago, you would come in onto the program and you would tell us, well, here are things that we're going to try to do, here are things that we're going to attempt to do, and now you're coming in and saying, here's what we can do.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Well, we can do the HARP loan, which is for people who are underwater, as long as they have conforming loans or conforming jumbos up to that limit, and have their loan owned by Fannie or Freddie. Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac have to own your loan, and just because you pay Chase or Bank of America or Wells Fargo doesn't mean that they don't own it, because those companies generally sell all the fixed rate conforming loans to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. So if they own that loan and you're underwater, we can refinance your first. We can't refinance your second. We can subordinate your second, but we can refinance your first and get you a much lower rate, and that's helped a lot of people. But more important than we can do that, we can also keep you from ever having to have a HARP loan. And that, I think, is more important than getting the HARP loan, as good as it is, because the vast majority of people who have HARP loans have 30-year fixed loans. Mm-hmm. The problem with a 30-year fixed loan is just one simple sentence. It takes 20 years to pay off half of it. So just let's break that down a little. If it takes 20 years to pay off half, and it's done in 30, that means the last 10 years you pay off half.
Right.
You pay off the first half in 20, and being it's a progression based on how much you still owe, the second 10 years, you probably pay off between 1/4 and 3/8 of the other half.
I see.
And it's the first 10 years that you pay off next to nothing,
right.
And that's when you get yourself in trouble. So if you don't have a 30-year loan, you're not going to ever have to worry about a HARP loan, mm-hmm. because in 20 years, while your friends are paying off their half of their 30-year loan, you can pay off a 20-year fixed, you can pay off a 15-year fixed with 5 years to spare, or a 10-year fixed with 10 years to spare. So there's no reason, especially since those 3 loans are between the high 2s and the middle 3s without points, there's no reason not to refinance into them and protect yourself.
Well, and what you just said is exactly the key, because let's face it, 15, 20 years ago, that was impossible for most people to even consider a 15 or a 20-year loan, because the payment would have been so high. But now, right, when you're talking about interest rates in the high 2s, you can get that done. Yeah, you can actually get it done. So that's more exciting to me than the HARP loan. Now, along with the HARP loan, we have the FHA. The FHA Streamline, which is coming back in vogue. If you've owned the FHA loan since April of 2009, you're eligible in the next few weeks to do a Streamline. Now, the reason you can't do it now is FHA raised their front end deposit from 1% to 1 3/4. The mortgage insurance is now between 1.15 and 1.25 a month, and that makes your payment go up. And when you have a Streamline, your payment must go down. So coming next month, early next month, they are lowering their front end from 1 3/4 back to 0.1. Wow. To 0.1, so virtually nothing there. And their mortgage insurance is going back to 0.55. So we can then do a Streamline. Now, the thing about a Streamline is there's no appraisal. Credit, we have to have a minimum of about 620, but most people have that. There's no income documentation, and there's no reserve requirements. All we do is simply get your case number, show them that your payment is going down, show them that you haven't missed a payment in the last year, and we can refinance you. And our rates are phenomenal. The 15 years in the bottom of the 3s, the 30 years between the middle 3s and high 3s, and probably with no points on all of those. You know, again, it's such a clear difference from the conversations you and I were having even 6 months ago. A year ago, it was like, here's, again, like I'll repeat myself, this is what we're going to try to do, and now you're saying this is what we can do. So if people want to know what they can do with Roger Schlesinger, the Mortgage Minute Guy, how do they get in touch with you?
They can call us at 866-288-0088, 866-288-0088, or go to mortgageminuteguy.com, press where it says Find a Mortgage Consultant. That's our 3-question application. Your name, how do we reach you, and what state your property's in. Send it in, and one of my boys or girls will be right back to get you.
There is no one I would talk to about a mortgage other than the Mortgage Minute Guy and Roger Schlesinger. Again, their website is mortgageminuteguy.com. Roger, thanks so much.
Thank you, Don.